Hello, this is Mrs. Brown, and this is a quick review of when you're solving inequalities, when to flip the sign and when not. See, negative numbers kind of mess things up a little bit when we're solving inequalities. It's not something you have to worry about with equations because it's equal. But sometimes the direction of the sign has to change. So a less than has to become a greater than or vice versa. So let's look at when to do that and when not to. And you only have to worry about this when there are negative numbers involved. Okay, and in fact, specifically, if the number you are multiplying or dividing by is negative. So not the one that's getting divided, for instance, but the one that you're dividing by, okay? There's a slight difference there. So let's look at when to flip and not flip, okay? In order to solve this one-step equation, I have to divide by -4. Well, the number I'm dividing by is a negative number. So in this case, I flip. Okay, so y is greater than or equal to -3. Now, let's look at why this happens. Okay, pick a number that's greater than or equal to -3. Well, let's pick 0. It's easy to deal with. If I put in 0, -4 times 0 is 0, and 0 is less than 12. So that makes that statement true. If I, on the other hand, picked a number that was less than -3, like -10, okay? -4 times -10 is +40. And +40 is not less than 12. So because I divided by a negative number, I had to flip that sign around. It kind of messes things up. And if I don't, the answers that I get are not going to make sense. Okay? So if I look at this one, in order to solve it, I need to divide by 3. And when I divide by 3, I don't have to flip the sign. And the reason is the number that I'm dividing by is not a negative number. It's a positive number. It doesn't matter that this one's negative. This one's positive. Don't flip it. So m is greater than -3. So again, if I put in 0, 0 times 3 is 0, which is greater than -9. So everything works out. Again, I'm just picking a number that's greater than -3 because I know it has to be greater than -3. I'm going to switch pens here. All right, so let's take a look at this one. So think to yourself, is this going to be a flip or no flip? Well, I'm going to do the opposite of dividing by 2, which is multiplying by 2. And the number I'm multiplying both sides by is a positive number. It doesn't matter if this one's negative or not. So therefore, I am not going to flip. It's going to stay the same. So this would be a case of no flip. Okay, if I pick a number such as 0, I'm sorry, b is less than -14, not 0. If I pick like -20 divided by 2 is -10, and -10 is less than -7. Remember, this one is the same as, for instance, you can make it negative, actually you can put it b over -5, because remember, -1/5 is the same as 1 over -5, which is the same as -1/5 that way. They all mean exactly the same thing. So I can just put that negative in the 5 at the bottom, make my life a little bit easier. The opposite of dividing by -5 is multiplying by -5. So if I multiply both sides by -5, those go bye-bye. And actually, this one I do need to flip because the number I'm multiplying by is negative. So this is a flip because I multiplied both sides by -5. And so I want numbers that are less than -50. So like, let's say I take -100, which would be less, divided by -5 is 20, and 20 is greater than 10. If I were instead to not have flipped it and used something like 0, 0 divided by -5 is 0, and 0 is not greater than 10. So again, only when the number that I'm multiplying or dividing by is negative do I have to flip the sign. Okay? On a side note, addition and subtraction, it doesn't matter. There's no flipping. So if I have m plus negative 2 is greater than 5, and I just add 2 to both sides. Okay. It doesn't change it. Okay. If I have m minus 3 or plus 3 and I subtract 3, I don't flip the sign. Nothing changes. So with addition and subtraction, there's no flipping. Okay, it's only with multiplication or division, and it's only when you're dividing by a negative number or multiplying by a negative number. It's the one that you're doing both sides of the equation to, not the one that's all by itself. Okay, I hope this helps, and have a fabulous day.